Welcome to Skills Development Simplified. I am Stan. For many years, I've worked in workplace learning, curriculum development, and skills development. During that time, I've noticed something that concerns me. Not because it is written into legislation, not because it is required by policy, but it is a belief that has quietly spread throughout many organizations. The beliefs sound like this: we can't train people unless the program is accredited. I've heard it from managers, I've heard it from HR practitioners, I've heard it from skills development facilitation. I've even heard it from people who genuinely want to develop their employees. So they wait. They postpone training, operational problems continue, employees remain underskilled, and opportunities to improve performance are lost. I call this accreditation paralysis. Today, I'd like us to examine where this belief comes from, what the skills development framework actually says, and why this misunderstanding may be costing organizations far more than they realize. So, let's first start by understanding the fear. Let's begin with an important point. This misunderstanding didn't appear out of nowhere. Over the years, South Africa has invested heavily in building a quality-assured skills development system. Accreditation, qualification, quality assurance, SETAs, QCTO, professional bodies. All of these play an important role. So, it is not surprising that many people eventually concluded if accreditation is important, then every form of training must be accredited. It sounds logical, but logic is not always the same as policy. What was the purpose of accreditation? Before asking whether training should be accredited, we should ask a better question. Why does accreditation exist? Accreditation exists to provide confidence that certain learning programs meet recognized quality standard. It supports consistency, it protects learners, it strengthens qualification. It gives employers confidence in national recognized learning. Those are important purposes. But accreditation was never intended to replace every form of workplace learning. Think about your own organization. Every day, employees learn through coaching, mentoring, induction, job shadowing, toolbox talks, standard operating procedure training, software updates, safety briefing, and supervisor guidance. If organization had to wait for every one of these activities to become accredited before they could teach people, many workplaces will simply stop functioning. Learning happens every day. Accreditation supports part of the learning ecosystem. It does not define all of it. Now, let's look at what the framework actually says. This is where I believe many organizations gain confidence once they look at the official framework. The Department of Trade, Industry and Competition, the dtic, through Statement 300 of Amended B-BBEE Code of Good Practice, recognizes that valuable workforce learning is broader than accredited qualification. The official learning program metrics include informal learning categories such as Category F, occupational directed information instruction. This includes activities like external workshop, industry seminars, conferences, and similar learning opportunities. Now, Category G, it's about work-based informal programs. These include workplace learning such as internal standard operating procedure training, structured coaching, mentoring, and supervised on-the-job instruction. These categories may contribute towards skills development measurement under the B-BBEE framework, subject to the rule and applicable limits set out in Statement 300. To me, this sends an important message. Government recognizes that meaningful learning takes many forms. Not every valuable learning experience leads to a formal qualification, but that does not make it less valuable. So we can look at the cost of accreditation paralysis. Now, let's think about what happens when organizations believe they cannot train without accreditation. Imagine a manufacturing company introduces a new machine. Should employees wait months for a formal accreditation program? Or should an experienced supervisor train them immediately so production can continue safely and efficiently? Imagine a hospital introduce a new patient management system. Should nurses postpone learning until an accredited program is developed? Or should they receive structured workshop instruction before using the system? Imagine your organization updates its standard operating procedure. Would you delay implementation until accredited course exists? Of course not. Business cannot wait. Learning cannot wait. The workplace changes every day. Workplace learning must change with it. So, compliance should never replace common sense. One of the observations I've made throughout my career is this. Sometimes organizations become so focused on compliance that they unintentionally neglect capability. You see, compliance asks, have we met the requirements? And learning asks, have our people become better at their work? Those are not competing questions. The best organizations answers both. Now, let's look at, myth versus reality. Now, here is the first myth. If training is not accredited, we should not do it. Now, the reality is this. Many forms of workplace learning are recognized within South African broader skills development and B-BBEE framework. The key is understanding which learning is appropriate for the purpose. What is required by law or regulation in your sector and how to document and manage it properly. So here's the second myth. Only accredited training creates value. Now here's the reality. Some of the most valuable learning in any organization happen through coaching, mentoring, problem solving, and guided workplace experience. So let's go to the next myth. Accreditation and learning are both the same thing. Now here's the reality. Accreditation is one mechanism for assuring the quality of certain learning programs. Learning is the process through which people develop knowledge, skills, and competence. The two are related. Now, is there a better way? Now, whenever I completed a project, I asked myself one question. Is there a better way? Perhaps organizations should ask the same question. Instead of asking, is this accredited? Begin by asking, what capability do our people need? Then choose the most appropriate learning solution. Sometimes the solution will be an accredited program, sometimes it will be mentoring, sometimes it will be coaching, sometimes it will be structured workplace instruction. Good learning starts with the need, not with the label. So, as I conclude, I don't believe accreditation is the problem. Accreditation is valuable. It has an important place in South Africa's learning system. The problem begins when organizations assume that accreditation is the only legitimate pathway to learning. When that happens, organizations delay development. Employees miss opportunities to grow. Business lose agility. And the very purpose of skills development is weakened. Let's not allow accreditation to become paralysis. Let's use accreditation where it adds value. And let's never stop developing people simply because we have misunderstood the framework. At the same time, let's recognize the importance of enterprise training. And this is the structured workplace learning that organizations provide every day to help employees perform better, adapt to changes, and solve real operational challenges. When planned well and documented appropriately, enterprise training complements accredited learning rather than competing with it. Because the purpose of skills development has never been simply to produce certificates. Its purpose is to build capable people, people who can solve problems, people who can adapt to change, people who help their organization grow. And perhaps that is the most important lesson of all. The goal is not accreditation for its own sake. The goal is capability. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Skills Development Simplified. I will see you in the next episode.